Hey Insiders, we've got an important update about the Elevate Insider. We have decided to move away from Apple Podcasts to host the Elevate Insider after having technical difficulties and after realizing that we cannot serve our audience in the best way possible because Apple Podcasts hides a lot of information about the people who enroll in our paid for podcast, which enables us to not truly deliver all of the content, the PDFs, and the information that we want to deliver in a way that is easier to access for the people who invest in this podcast. We've decided to take control and utilize our own platform. So what does this mean for you? You will still be able to access the podcast just like before. When you enroll back into the Elevate Insider, we will give you a link. You can simply take that link and embed it into the podcast app of your choice, and you can still listen to the Elevate Insider through one of those apps. You will now directly get access through us. So this means that you can get direct links to your PDFs. You get earlier access to the podcast, which is now on Fridays, and it allows us to deliver the experience we know you deserve for this paid resource. To keep listening, you need to re-enroll using the link in the show notes. It's an easy process, and once you're in, you'll unlock special perks like early access to new episodes, exclusive content that you won't find anywhere else. So if you want to keep getting the insider strategies that help elevate your business, hit that link, get signed up, and we'll see you inside. Hello and welcome to the Elevate Podcast. I'm your host, Patricia Nowakowski. I am a salon owner, educator, mindset, and leadership coach that helps salon owners go from overwhelmed and burnt out to motivated and empowered. It is my mission to help you systemize your business, generate more profit, and create a career that you are absolutely in love with. Join us every week to learn about the small shifts you can make to elevate your business regarding mindset, marketing, social media, business systems, and so much more. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Elevate Podcast. We are going to be chatting about how to build leaders in your salon instead of growing divas. So I know we've all been there as a salon owner. We have a top stylist or a top performer really bringing in most of the revenue for the business and sometimes most of the profit. So we end up getting held hostage by our top performers. There are so many things that you can do as an owner in order to truly keep the diva mentality from happening inside of your business. And one of those things is really focusing on developing leadership skills, especially with your top performers. One of the things that a lot of the time happens is our top performers end up getting bored and not really being able to see the potential for growth inside of our business. And when that happens, when they don't have a growth strategy to focus on, they end up nitpicking and kind of just like pulling apart everything in the business because essentially they're bored. They need to focus that energy on finding fulfillment, and they need to focus the energy on growth. So this is why it's so important to have a growth plan in your business to really do one-on-ones so you can be continually working on this growth with your team and really taking the time to develop leadership skills with your top stylists so that they can exude this quality within the business and essentially make your job so much easier. And also, it's not just growing their revenue behind the chair, and it's not just growing their book of business. It's also growing their mindset and their capacity and their consciousness. When people feel like they're growing in your business or are continually growing in your business, it is very addictive. And especially when you have those high performers and those top people, they crave growth. They'll settle for nothing less than. So if you have someone in your business and they're starting to have that diva mentality, you as the owner need to turn that around immediately because this is going to completely dismantle your culture. Once you have one person in your business, especially a top performer that a lot of the stylists look up to, trying to dismantle what you're doing, your structure, your vision, your culture, it can turn into a giant mess. It can lead to a walkout, and it can turn into a situation where your entire team starts to question you as a leader. So one of the things that we really need to do is really hone in on those leadership skills and continue to develop these people in our business so that they can truly be their best. And we're going to go over some actionable steps today on how to really start developing these qualities in your team so that they can truly focus on the prize and not focus on the day-to-day mundane things that really don't matter. What matters in our business is that we are truly developing our team members to be the best version of themselves. And this is why it is so hard to truly have a thriving salon when you are stuck behind the chair as a salon owner. It is also hard to do this when you have no idea where to start and what to focus on. So that is one of the reasons why I wanted to do today's podcast, because a lot of people don't understand the work and effort that truly goes into creating amazing leadership skills. We all can picture in our brain our favorite leader or what a great leader looks like, right? But we're not really taught on how to become that or how to create that. Leadership for me in my business has been making a shit ton of fuck ups and then looking at myself with personal responsibility, not focusing on the victim mentality of what my team has done to me. Oh, what did they do to me? Oh my God, this is so horrible. No, it is doing reflective work and asking myself, what could I have done to become a better leader? How could I have made this situation outcome different? What do I need to do as a leader to make sure that this doesn't happen again in my business? We're never really taught on how to develop leadership. And I think this is why a lot of salons fail, because stylists open a salon thinking that what is going to make them successful is the actions they're taking behind the chair. They build up a really solid book of business. They have a high demand. They're really great with clients. And that's great for you as a stylist. But to truly be a successful salon owner, what's going to create your success is your leadership skills and your ability to manage people. And let me tell you, with the diverse people in our universe, it is very hard to manage and develop people because each one of the people working in your business is going to have different needs. They're going to have different wants and different desires. So you as an owner and as a leader need to be able to meet your team members where they're at and develop them in a way that works with their learning style, with their emotional intelligence and their capacity, and also works in a way that's going to create results. And being able to develop different types of leadership skills is very important in order to really have a solid, diverse team. We don't want all of the same type of people working in our business. We want to have diversity. We want to have different types of learners. We want to have people who are good at some things and not at others. We want people that are very, very motivated. And we also need people that are not. And we need people that are really great at taking risks and people that are not. Because those high performers are obviously going to set the example. They're going to bring in the revenue. They're going to build their books fast. The people that don't have those same desires are the ones that are going to be on your team for a very long time. So understanding each type of person that is in your business and really what they can actually deliver. Not everyone is going to be able to deliver the same type and quality of service and the same type of capacity. So understanding that is going to allow you to meet them where they're at and then moving forward and pushing them to grow where they're at to the next level of where they can go. So today we're going to focus on what makes a great leader in the salon. Also, I want to say, I know as an owner, it is hard to juggle the things. You can't just stop working behind the chair. It does not work that way. I understand that. You need that revenue and that profit margin from the services that you're bringing in as an owner. And sometimes we don't have the funds and the resources to hire somebody else. My whole thing is if you can't manage your team because you're bringing in the revenue, then you need to hire a manager. If you can't afford a manager, you need to figure out how to, because people need structure, accountability, and guidance. And you can't deliver that at the level your team needs when you're standing behind the chair 40 hours a week. So you got to figure that out. One of the reasons why I created the Salon Owner's Blueprint, which I know I talk about this a lot, but I really love this program, is I really put in the things that you need as an owner, including our leadership coaching sessions, so that you don't have to do the work. The work is done for you. You just have to implement the things in the program. We have a whole area that I'm continually adding to for leadership, and these are coaching sessions that you can utilize in your one-on-one meetings to help your team think outside of the box and think differently and to truly start developing their leadership skills within your salon. These leadership coaching sessions are also great for you as a leader to really look over and ask yourself if it's something that you're implementing in your business or something that you possibly need to work on. Leadership in a salon goes beyond just managing tasks and overseeing daily operations. It's about inspiring, motivating, empowering your team to do their best work consistently. And great salon leadership creates a culture of collaboration, creativity, and support, all while meeting business goals and keeping clients happy. So I hope today's episode was beneficial for you. I hope you can start implementing these things with your team members and really start focusing on growing leaders and not divas. Great salon leaders blend emotional intelligence, strong communication, and confidence in decision-making. Developing these traits takes practice, but with consistency, you can begin to see tremendous growth in your team and within yourself. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to share with your salon owner bestie and your manager. Until next time, keep building great leaders and empowering your team. Thanks for tuning in to the Elevate podcast. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a review on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen. The Elevate podcast is hosted by me, Patricia Nowakowski, and is produced by Opulent Beauty Pro. To receive my free business guides, visit opulentbeautypro.com/free or click the link in the show notes. You can find me on Instagram at Opulent Beauty Pro or at Patricia_Nowakowski_OBS. If you love this show, please consider subscribing and we will see you next week.